So what was the exact accusation from the Secretary of State?
So we called us Kremlin propagandists, and they said we're secretly funded by the Russians. Yeah, no proof, no evidence. Yeah, if I'm being honest, the real reason why we got into trouble was the US elections. Had it have not been an election year, I think African Stream would still be on air today. Yes, they're trying to kill him. Yes, they want to remove him, but they're going to have a very, very difficult job. And I think they're aware if they do kill him, he's potentially more dangerous as a martyr than he is alive. So it's not something that they want to do.
Yeah.
So there's an interview of Ibrahim Traoré, which was in France, which we translated through our comrade in Burkina Faso, where he's saying, the story of Ibrahim Traoré is he was a fighter on the ground, fighting these terrorists. They're seeing BS by these French troops. They're like, we're risking our lives. I'm losing comrades left, right, and center. The French are meant to be helping us. They show up way after the fight is done. What's this about? They have the most high-tech military equipment, high-tech military aircraft, but yet they're showing up after the fight's done. He's saying in this interview, which we translated and posted certain parts, he's saying they would see planes flying up above, dropping off weapons to the terrorists. That is the trigger for the revolution. Yeah?
Wow.
Yeah, he says this.
Peace and blessings, everybody. I am your brother Orina, all the way from the motherland, from Kenya, Nairobi. And welcome to Sell Africa to Africans. Today, I think this is my biggest guest, founder of African Stream, the largest Pan-African media platform in the world. I am, this is one of those things that I'm like, this is a guest that I've always wanted to have because of the story, because of the challenges, the journey. He's going to tell everything. This guy has been through a lot, but even in the eye of the storm, he's going to go through it. Brother Ahmed, how are you doing today?
I'm good. And thank you so much for that kind introduction. I'm not sure if we're worthy, but we'll try our best to live up to it.
You guys are the biggest Pan-African media platform. Like, I remember when you featured one of my videos 2-3 years ago. Wow, I was really honored. For my work to be reposted. But what happened? Like, just tell us, man. Like, let's just start there. What happened to African Stream?
Sure.
Yeah.
Sure. So, you say we're the biggest, and I appreciate that, but it was a long journey. Because I remember the first 6-10, maybe even definitely the first 6-10 months, we're producing high quality content. No one's picking it up. To the point where I'm in my family WhatsApp groups. Mama, Baba, like this. Put this in the Sudanese WhatsApp groups. Yeah, you know those struggles. But we knew we didn't get dissuaded because people were taking our content and they would post it and it would go viral.
Yeah.
So we knew the content was good, but it was just like, why? And we just kept going. We didn't do any promo. We didn't do any like big advertisements. You never saw us on any billboards or anything like that, TV advert. We just believed in the content. And then a few Africans from the US, celebrities, hip hop stars, basketball players, somehow, I don't know how, they found our content. The first was Yassine Bey, who used to be known as Mos Def. Yes. Yeah, who's one of my favorite rappers.
Me too.
Yeah. And he was sharing our content. And then he started following our page. And I sent him a message saying, thanks for the follow. And he responded to me with something that, like, to this day was one of the highlights. He says, I absolutely love your page. I send it to everybody I know, and I tell everybody I know, you need to follow this page. So I think he had a part, because he's amongst hip hop purists like myself and you, I assume. He's well known, but around the world, maybe not so well known. But he's what you call your favorite rapper's favorite rapper.
Can rest him.
Exactly. Yeah. So he has a lot of influence. So when he said he sent it to everybody he knows, I think he had a role, because all of a sudden, it was in maybe around the 12-month mark, we just started flying. African stream just started flying. You know, I remember there was a point we were on like 3,000 followers for a long time. Then after 6 months, it jumped to 10. And then around the 10-month mark, we were gaining 10,000 followers every month.
Wow.
So it went from, maybe it was on 50, went to 60, 70, 80, 100, and then it just started to fly. Check it's on 150, check it's on 200. This is on Instagram, and we're flying. I remember we got to 500,000, and I was like, this is a big moment, 500,000 followers on Instagram. So I bought a cake here in Kenya, and we wrote, you know, congratulations to the team, 500,000 followers. By the time we had the celebration, we had to change the 5 to a 6. We were on 600,000 followers. So it was flying. And it's interesting, because at the time when we were doing bad, you know how it is. You have the naysayers. You know, Africa is past all this colonialism. Africans past.
That's black people.
Yeah. No, just people that are like, your pages, your friends, associates, you know, people I guess it's people associated to myself and associated to the team. Like, your page is good, but, you know, Africans were forward-thinking people. We don't want to hear about all that negativity. You know that. So you do doubt yourself a little bit. Like, am I right in continuing on this path? And then I'm like, but there's a million pages where they post Africans dancing. Yeah. There's a million pages where they talk about how many Grammys Burna Boy won. Yeah. There's a million pages that talk about African corruption. Yeah. How many pages connect the dots? So I was like, I don't care if I don't get many followers. We don't get many followers. This is what I'm on the earth to do. Because I grew up in a British education system where they taught me as a young child going through that education system that Africans are in these conditions because of themselves. Yeah. They don't know how to manage their resources. There's corruption. And they've got some sort of predisposition to be violent. Yeah. They didn't say these things directly in that way, but that was, if you was to summarize how they were taught, that Africa was taught to me and how the continent was portrayed, that was it. Yeah. And I always knew that story was incorrect, because the smartest person I knew was my father, an African man. Yeah. When I go to African functions, the elders had more knowledge than any head teacher or school teacher that I met in the UK. Yeah. So I knew this was BS. I knew that corruption alone doesn't answer the question, because if it did, then why does Saudi Arabia have all the money? There's no corruption in Saudi Arabia. Even though we have Saudi princes playing for rent boys in the UK. Even though we have Saudi princes that buy license plates, bid on license plates that have the number 1 and pay like $50 million. Is that not corruption? Yeah. So you can't tell me corruption's a uniquely African problem. In the US, they have an annual budget for the Pentagon, which reaches $1 trillion, and they never have to do an audit. Is that not corruption?
Wow.
Yeah. In the UK, they own an island called Diego Garcia. Yeah. They kick the indigenous people off the land and they make way for an American military base. The indigenous people have no rights. Is that not corruption? I could go on. Kibera here in Kenya. Kibera, it was land promised to Nubian fighters that fought for the British Empire. Yeah, the British says, here's the reward for your services to empire. We'll give you this land. Yeah, 10 years go by, no land leases. 20 years go by, 30 years go by. Then the year before independence, they say, we're not going to give you land leases or land rights. We'll give you these temporary land status. Yeah. And they flood Kibera. They said this is their land. They flood it with other workers. Yeah. So is that not corruption? The idea that corruption alone explains the conditions that we're in is BS. And it's a convenient lie sold by the imperialists to absolve themselves of any responsibility. And so that's what African Stream is. It doesn't let William Ruto off the hook. It doesn't let Ahmed Bolo Tinubu off the hook. It doesn't let Paul Biya in Cameroon off the hook.
Or this president.
Yeah, it just explains that these people at best are middle management. Yeah. So they're corrupt, no doubt about it.
Yeah.
But their corruption serves somebody else. Let's talk about that.
Somebody higher.
Somebody higher. I get so frustrated in Kenya when they talk about the finance bill, but they never say the IMF finance bill.
Yeah.
You know, this is clever manipulation.
Yeah.
So what African Stream tried to do was provide context. That is it. All we tried to do is provide context. We shared a document on our page, which was an IMF document to Ruto's administration, which says if you push through with this IMF finance bill, it's going to cause stress to your population, and you'll likely have protests. Sorry, excuse me.
That was before June.
Yes.
Yeah.
And he still pushes through with it. Yeah. So not to absolve Ruto of any responsibility, but who is Ruto the president of? Is he the president of the people of Kenya, who he's been told is bringing them harm and stress with a bill? Or is he middle management who is here to serve a neoliberal agenda, the Washington consensus? Yeah. So that was the purpose of African Stream, and that's why we got into trouble. But if I'm being honest, the real reason why we got into trouble was the US elections. Had it have not been an election year, I think African Stream would still be on air today. Now, we follow the tradition of Malcolm X. Yeah, Malcolm X is critical of what he calls the two-party system, the duopoly. Yeah, something that African nations have adopted, and that's why people have kind of become disillusioned with Western democracy, because you have Raila or you have Ruto. But there's really not that much difference between both. Yeah?
The manifestos were kind of the same.
Exactly. And so this is what they sell us as democracy. Yeah. And so in the US, we this is the angle that we took. There's 40 million Africans in the US. Pan-Africanism isn't just about uniting 54, 55 African states. It's about uniting African people from the Caribbean to the Americas to the continent.
Yeah.
So we have to talk about the plight of Africans in the US. We have to. And we have to explain that the Democrats nor the Republicans are not the friends of Africans internally in the US or Africans abroad.
Yeah.
And this is why our message became so dangerous, because the Democratic Party relies on the black vote. Yeah, they're used to getting anywhere between 80 to 95% of the black vote. Now, in an election that's split, that's very pivotal.
Yes.
Yeah. And we saw in the last election, it was the fact that they lost the Latino vote is what probably cost them the election. So,
even some black votes as well.
And some black votes, but they still got the majority of black votes.
Yeah.
So what happened is, in the lead up to the US election, we were obviously criticizing both. And statistically, we criticized Trump more. Yeah, that someone did an article on us and they said, this is how many times they criticized Trump. This is how many times they criticized Biden. How many times they criticized Harris. So we criticized Biden and Harris collectively less than we criticized Trump. But from their perspective, the imperialist perspective, the Democratic Party perspective, people that follow African Stream don't vote Trump anyway. So we're not damaging Trump's campaign, but we're damaging
Harris's campaign.
Exactly. So we talked about her record as in her own words, the top cop, former attorney general.
Yeah.
How many African people she locked up?
Yeah.
She locked up people for smoking weed, but then laughs about smoking weed herself. We talked about all these things. How much money she's received from Israel. How many times she spoke at APAC conferences. We talked about this.
How many times she said she's not going to do things only for black people.
Exactly. And when we talked about this stuff the year before, there was no problem. But in the lead up to the election, we got huge pushback by the black bourgeoisie. Yeah, those that rely on speaking gigs from the Democratic Party, etc., etc.
Those are the worst.
Yeah. So the first attack, the Anthony Blinken attack, the Secretary of State attack, was the final attack. It wasn't the first. The first attack came from a publication called NBC.
Okay.
NBC is a liberal. I don't say left because I distinguish between liberal and left. I'm left, I'm not liberal. It's a liberal publication that supports the Democratic Party. And, you know, as soon as Joe Biden was elected, they had this interview with Joe Biden where they asked him no tough questions and basically just congratulated him for 45 minutes. That's the type of publication that NBC is. So they reached out to me via email. Hey, Ahmed, African Stream has been named as one of the key black media outlets spreading disinformation to 40 million African Americans. Do you want to respond to this claim? Yeah. And the guy said to me, you have Tuesday to respond. Yeah, I think he sent me the email on the Sunday. You have Tuesday to respond. And then he goes, scrap that. You have Monday to respond. Send another email, Monday to respond. And this is Sunday evening, Monday to respond. It's a joke. Plus, how do you say there's an accusation without saying what the accusation is? So it's like me saying to you, brother, you've been accused of lying. Do you want to respond? Your first question would be, what have I lied about? Yeah. So we did a response to them. We used it as an opportunity. Like Nelson Mandela, when he was put on trial by the apartheid regime, he dressed in his indigenous clothes and put the apartheid regime on trial. So that's what we did. We said,
that's dope.
Yeah. And that really our response went viral, super viral, to the point where the journalist, Marquise Francis, put his Instagram and Twitter on private because he was just, our supporters we didn't tell him to do that.
Yeah.
But I found his page. So that was the first attempt at discrediting us. And while they didn't give examples for us, the other publications that they mentioned was Shade Room, Breakfast Club, and a few others. They did give examples for Shade Room, and then they made a conclusion about us all, and they said disinformation aimed at encouraging people not to vote for Joe Biden. So it was clear it was about the Democratic Party, but that failed. The guy made his profile private. Victory 1 for us, 0 for the Empire. Yeah. Then came the second attack. We did a report from George W. Bush to Joe Biden. So that's George W. Bush, Barack Obama, Donald Trump, and Joe Biden.
Bill?
No, just from the drone strikes. This is about drone strikes in Somalia.
Oh, drone strikes, okay.
Yeah. Okay. From George Bush to Joe Biden, it doesn't matter who gets elected in November, drones are going to rain down on Somalia. Yeah? And we named how many drone strikes George Bush dropped, how many drone strikes Obama dropped, how many drone strikes Joe Biden dropped, which is a Democratic record, and how many drone strikes Donald Trump dropped, which was a Republican record. So we have the highest drone strikes who are running against each other. So it doesn't matter. And true to our prediction, Donald Trump was inaugurated January the 20th. I think by January the 30th, drone strikes were raining down on Somalia. So we didn't say nothing incorrect. Yeah, that's factual. So Voice of America, which is US state-funded media, they responded and said, popular online news website, African Stream, distorts the truth on Somalia. Yeah? And they absurdly claimed that Somalian drone strikes, which are in the thousands, by the way, have only killed 3 to 5 civilians. They couldn't even decide on their lie. Was it 3 or 5? They said 3 to 5 civilians. which is categorically false. Yeah, according to Amnesty International, Human Rights Watch, several Somali NGOs, Vice News, which is a pro-imperialist publication, says there's more. So we did a response to that, and in our response, we destroyed them. But what was interesting about this response, because of what happened to Marquise the first time around, the journalist, the Kenyan journalist, I don't know if I should say her name, we've given her enough heat. She initially put her name on an article and then changed her name to an A-list. Yeah.
Oh.
But we took a screenshot before
she changed.
Yeah. Which obviously showed that they couldn't even find journalists to smear us that were willing to stand by their smear. Yeah. They were too scared of us, of the audience, of everything else. So we responded. And then after we responded, they did a video and an article about us. In the video on YouTube, you can find it. I'll show you after the recording. Every single comment on the YouTube is, "You guys got destroyed by African Stream. African Stream put you in a coffin." You know, that's literally, you can't find one comment. You'd think someone from the staff would write a few positive comments, not one comment in the whole thing. So that failed. So I think that's when the piece of paper gets passed up. They're like, okay, we tried to smear these guys. We tried to discredit these guys.
We failed.
We're going to need some state power here. Yeah.
Calling the big guns now.
Calling the big guns. And yeah, so then that's when they just went nuclear. Friday the 13th.
Literally.
Well, it was literally Friday the 13th, September 2024.
Damn.
I said to my wife, and when I woke up, I was like, I don't like Friday the 13th. She was like, "Oh, that's Christian stuff. You're not a Christian." I was like, "Nah, I don't like that stuff." And by the end of the day, I said, "I told you about Friday the 13th. I told you about Friday the 13th. So yeah, it just came out of nowhere. But it was effective because here's this so-called critical voice of the Harris-Biden regime. Let's call it what it is, because that's like a regime.
Yeah.
Who's now being neutralized 2 months before the election. It didn't make a difference. They got their asses spanked in the election anyway. But I think that's what it was about. And that's why we were attacked. Because to this day, have they provided any proof to substantiate? So if there was any truth to what they were saying, they would have said, African Stream is this, and here's the evidence.
Okay. So what was the exact accusation from the Secretary of State?
So we called us Kremlin propagandists, and they said we're secretly funded by the Russians. Yeah, no proof, no evidence. Yeah, and then all you need with an accusation like that, some accusations, as soon as you're accused, that's it. You're damn near guilty. Yeah. It's like, I shouldn't say this, but it's like if an accusation about a man is made in regards to violence against a woman.
Yeah.
As soon as the accusation's made,
you're done.
You're done.
You're done.
Now I say that our supporters didn't believe it, and majority of people didn't believe it. But when you talk about business, so business is all about risk. Yeah. So business is thinking, okay, it's probably not true, but why am I going to risk it?
Yeah.
There's other entities with big followings that have no accusations. I'm going to invest my money there. Yeah. So that's how it was a very smart tactic in killing us. Because after the accusation, firstly, YouTube took us down within 48 hours. Said we violated community guidelines. Didn't say what the community guidelines were. Instagram took us down within 72 hours.
Damn.
TikTok, which is surprising because it's allegedly run by the Chinese, took us down.
That's weird.
Yeah. No, but the thing about TikTok is they had to basically give up some of their sovereignty over the company. So for them to stay operating in the US, they had to be regulated outside of China. So the regulators of TikTok are not in China. So the people that say you violated, because if you notice, you could post anti-Chinese stuff on TikTok and it can go viral. If it was regulated in China, that wouldn't happen. It's because it's regulated. I looked it up once in somewhere like Denmark or Norway, Canada and the US. That's where the regulation happens. That's where the people decide whether you've got a strike or not. Okay. That's why pro-Palestine content is stricken on TikTok. Because China isn't anti-Palestine, but these countries that regulate are. Yeah. So it makes sense when you know the workings of TikTok. And actually we were shadow banned on TikTok way before. So TikTok, we had 960,000 followers, but we would get our views on Twitter with 100,000 would be more because of the shadow ban. So anyway, that happened. And another part of the coordinated attack, a publication called Stanford Observatory published an article, I think on the Sunday. We got attacked on a Friday, published an article on the Sunday, smearing us, a really detailed article where they mention everybody. Myself, I used to work for Press TV. One of our cameramen used to work for CTGN. One of our other journalists used to work for TRT. But as you know, this is normal. You know, the people have histories working for. Yeah. So they smeared us. And in this publication is where they said how many times we criticized Trump, how many times we criticized. They smeared us, but they included numbers from our YouTube page from before the attack by Anthony Blinken. So this suggests to us this is a coordinated state attack. Because why are you taking a screenshot of numbers before Anthony Blinken attacked us? Surely, if you're writing this article, because the premise of the article was what Anthony Blinken said. There was no evidence in the article at all. So if you're writing an article in reaction to what Anthony Blinken said, how do you write such a detailed article, number one, and how do you include numbers from before Anthony Blinken said what he said? It means that they were collusion. Exactly. So suggest it was a coordinated attack. And from there, we weren't preparing for anything like this. So all of a sudden you're swimming in the ocean, trying to figure out how to get out the ocean.
Did you panic? Did you
of course I panicked.
Yeah.
For the next like 4 or 5 days, I was like a zombie. Because imagine this guy that you've just seen on television is now talking about you, lying about you, but also he's doing it on the biggest stage of the White House press conference.
He mentioned
and he mentioned the website. He said, that's the thing that threw me. He goes, I remember writing that. I said, giving a voice to Africans, both home and abroad. I remember writing that in my small flat in London. And then he's there going, he reads out that bit and he goes, giving a voice to, the website says, giving a voice to both Africans at home and abroad. In reality, it only gives a voice to Kremlin propagandists. And I just felt like I was in a dream. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
I was like, what the hell is going on? And I was like, what's next? And have you ever seen that film, Enemy of the State with Will Smith?
Oh, yeah, I've heard of it.
It's a crazy film. So you start thinking like that. You start thinking people following you. You get paranoid. I wouldn't wish those weeks and months straight after on anybody. It was difficult, but
it's like the Cold War when you're being termed a communist.
Yes, exactly. That's happened to Paul Robeson.
Yeah,
exactly. So I just didn't know what was going to happen. I go to the UK once a year to see my mum and dad, to see my wife's mum and dad. And I was in the UK at the time. I was thinking, so when I go to the airport, will I get arrested based on what he says? When I land in Kenya, will I get arrested? You know, these are the things that are going through your head. Obviously, none of that happened.
Thank God.
Thank God. And then obviously the most difficult thing is you've got a team that you have to reassure, but you're trying to reassure them, but you don't know what's going to happen next.
Yeah.
So
you're like, it was like, gonna be okay, guys.
So they were like, am I gonna have a job? Am I okay? I'm just saying, yeah, don't worry, things are being okay. But I'm back on and I'm like, I have no idea what's gonna happen next. So we were hoping, okay, let's keep posting. There's enough people, good people out there where we can find a solution. But no solution really came. You know, people told us to jump on Rumble. We jumped on Rumble. But what is Rumble? Rumble's like the dark part of the web. And you're not reaching the same people. the beauty of African Stream is we'd reach people like my niece who's not political. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
I didn't want to just reach people like you who already are on my side.
Yeah, of course.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
It's nice to reach people like you, but I really wanted to reach the coffee lady outside. You know, that's who we're trying to awaken to the conditions that we're in and the reasons and what the solution to our problems are, which is, you know, uniting and moving away from this neoliberal capitalist system, which is essentially anti-African, anti-African. I shared a story on our page, quite a personal story. I went to get a haircut here in Kenya, and my barber, we were talking. One thing led to another. The guy had a hair transplant, but he hadn't finished it. So I was like, "You got a hair transplant?" Yeah, I only did one session. I was meant to do 3. I was like, "Why didn't you do the second and third?" He goes, "I ran out of money because my son was sick." So I said, "Okay, sorry to hear it. Hope your son was okay." No, he didn't make it.
Oh.
So then he told me the story. So obviously now, like a parent grieving, he just opens up. Tells me the story of how his son got sick. They raised some money through the church and through friends and family and people abroad and whatnot. And at the time when they raised money for the treatment, the doctors here in Kenya were on strike. Yeah, so it was interns and students. And I remember when he went to go see his son, the bit that's meant to be under his nose was out, and the student was asleep. Yeah, so he had to wake up the student and they put it back in. And he believes, and he's not against the strike. He understands why people are on strike, but he believes had they not been on strike,
would have been alive.
He would have got better treatment. He would be alive. Yeah, and obviously the strike is because of what we talked about earlier, the IMF finance bill.
Yeah. I was actually in the doctors' strike last year. Yeah, I was there. I was there in solidarity with them.
Exactly. So he still had, I think his payments was 3 point something million. I can't remember, thereabouts, maybe 2 million, 3 million. I can't remember. Let's say for argument's sake, it was 3.4 million. Managed to raise 3.2. They wouldn't release the dead body until he'd finished paying the last 2. He's pleading with the doctors. With the hospital. Please, my wife can't grieve. We need to bury my son. My wife can't grieve until we put him in the ground. After 3, 4, 5 weeks, they realize they're not going to get this last 200,000. They release the body. They bury him. But the whole story to me explains why this system isn't for us.
It's not.
Yeah. So the doctor strike again. You promise doctors a certain amount of pay, and then you renege on your promise because you're trying to get a loan from the IMF. If you don't get the loan from the IMF, you won't receive US dollars. If you don't receive US dollars, your currency is going to go through the roof. Your currency go through the roof, you're going to get processed anyway. So you're damned if you do, damned if you don't. Yeah. And so that's part one. That's the macro. Yeah. Then we got the micro. There's an African woman who works for the hospital who's been institutionalized not to behave the way that she was raised by her forefathers or ancestors or the village that she comes from, but to behave in this corporatist, capitalist way. Sorry, madam, if you don't have the 200K, we can't help you. So I asked him, I said, how did she deliver the message? Did she deliver it with some empathy? He said, no. Cold. Yeah. So it's corrupting people, on the micro level.
Yeah.
Not only is it corrupting our systems, which leads to doctors going on strike, it's corrupting people to move away from the way they were raised into being these cold corporate robots. And so that story to me, I told it on, it's not really a news report, but I did a video on African Stream. I just looked in the camera, told the story, and I was just like, this system isn't for us.
Yeah.
It isn't. There's no way anyone You could get the greatest debater here,
Yeah.
and I'll challenge them to debate me. The system isn't for us.
Yeah. So before we go to Pan-Africanism and the way forward, the solutions, what system is for us, I'd like us to exhaust the African stream topic first.
Sure.
So you guys got you saw what Anthony Blinken said. All that happened, and then it was like a year later, you made a very, very ground-shattering announcement that you're like, I was even with my fiance, and I was like, oh no, what? These are my guys.
Yeah.
What led to that eventually?
So we were trying our best. The resources that we had, we were trying to make them stretch. We'd obviously had to become less ambitious. When African Stream was running, you saw we did reports from Haiti, from Congo. We went to Congo. We sent Eric.
Oh, really?
Yeah, we went to Eastern Congo, Goma. We went to the camps, and then we were just shrinking operation. And then I was like, okay, this can't go on. We're going to run out of money soon. And it's better to make the announcement now while we're still at operational capacity than, like I said, death by 1,000 cuts, where the audience notices first that you don't want to have that moment where people are like, this is an African Stream. What happened to the African Stream I loved?
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Because now we don't have the resources to film properly. We don't have the resources. So I was like, okay, it's better to go out, not on top, but at a level that we're comfortable with our legacy. And yeah, if we make this announcement, who knows what might not happen. People knew we were in trouble before, but they didn't come to our rescue. Maybe if we say we're closing down, we will waken some people up, people with money and people with influence, and maybe we can get some sort of support for a rebranding. Maybe we rebrand as African Dream, and
African Dream.
Maybe you got the exclusive on this, but I don't want to make any promises, but that is kind of what's happened. Since we announced we're closing. We've been inundated with messages. Guys, what can we do to make this? We can't, the community can't lose this platform. What can we do? What can we do? So we've been approached by several different entities, 2 of them from the US. So let's see. We're in talks. Talks might not lead to anything, but let's see.
So what next?
So before African Stream announced it was closed down, I'd already been approached by an American foundation called Babushki. Yeah. It's a very interesting story. Again, you get the exclusive on this. They're funded by a guy called Fergie Chambers. Fergie Chambers is a trust fund baby. Yeah. So his family is called the Cox family. They're like one of the 8th or 9th richest family in the US.
Oh, okay.
But because they're so wealthy, their politics are pretty terrible. Yeah. I'm sure he would say that.
Okay.
So because he became increasingly uncomfortable with his family, he took his money out of the trust and he's now supporting social movements around the world. I can mention him off camera. I don't know if I should mention him on camera because maybe some of those movements don't want to. So Babushki, I met them in person at the 2nd annual Congress of the Kenyan Communist Party, which happened around December. They came to me and they were like, we want to support anti-imperialist media and we want to offer support not just financially but beyond that. So then another project I was meant to work simultaneously alongside African Stream was I'm going to be running or leading a coalition of anti-imperialist media, and we're going to be training some of these media outlets and providing them support to make their content fit for social media. So one of these outlets is the Black Agenda Report in the US. They're really fantastic writers, but they don't know anything about social media. So they write brilliant content, but they don't have an Instagram page. They don't have a TikTok page. So we're just giving them support, taking some of their articles, making them into videos. So that's one of the projects that I'm working on at the moment, as well as in talks with hopefully reviving African Stream into some sort of African Dream. The Sovereign Media Coalition is guaranteed. The African Dream thing isn't. So anyone watching this, any wealthy, progressive progressive funders that want to give us support, we'd be happy to receive it, as long as they won't interfere with our editorial line and who we are and what we stand for.
All these Kenyan billionaires, all these Kenyan multimillionaires, they should help you guys, man.
I know, but helping us might not help them.
They should say, hey, you guys,
Yeah. The Kenyan billionaires, and maybe I shouldn't say this, but how if they've not made their money in the right way, they'll give us the money in one hand and we'll come after them in the next hand.
But there's some who are legit, kind of. Yeah. There's some who are legit.
Introduce us.
Yeah.
Introduce us, because here's the thing, it benefits them. That's the pitch that I made when setting up African Stream. It benefits you, even as a wealthy African, to see Africa thrive and rise. Yeah. Because you're having to go on these terrible roads just like us. You're the one that has to, when you're sick, get on a flight and go to these hospitals in South Africa, hospitals India. In Europe. Surely, it's better for your own recovery to go to a hospital here in Kenya, a world-class hospital with world-class facilities where your family can visit you, where you can rest amongst your family and peers. Yeah. So that's the issue with some of these elites. They're so corrupt that their corruption affects them. The only difference between the African elite and the European elite, they're corrupt, but they want to make sure that the corruption doesn't affect them. So they make sure that the state schools within their vicinity are certain standards. So that if they want to send their child to a state school because of the optics, the child's not going to suffer. I mean, the truth is most of them still send their kids to a private school.
Yeah, of course.
But for example, in the UK, I'm from Birmingham, which is in the middle of the country. And in the north of the country is neglected because the politicians all send their kids to schools in and around central London or southeast of the UK. So they make sure that the corruption allows for a bubble of prosperity here. They know they're not going to send their kids up north, or they know they're not going to send their kids to schools in the Midlands. But what I don't understand here is they steal so much that it affects their kids, affects their grandkids,
their neighborhoods.
I mean, what I've heard, there's one village where the road to that village is brilliant because but all the other roads around it are terrible.
But even there's some who, even the roads around their neighborhoods and village is still shit. So I mean,
it's crazy.
I remember when former President Kibaki died. When now the burial and everything was happening in his village, that's the first time that a tarmac road was being set.
I
was like, you have to wait for him to die?
It's nuts. It's nuts.
Brother, so, wow. So, you know what? I wish you guys all the best.
Thank you.
And I really want you guys to come back. Come back.
So do we.
I was an avid fan. Every day I was like, Africa Stream.
That's what people tell me. It's part of their morning routine.
Morning
routine.
That was, like when I was in corporate, before I used to go to work, Instagram, Africa Stream. Instagram was my African Stream thing.
Thank you, man. And that was the point of it. There's so much bullshit. Sorry, excuse my language.
No,
On Instagram, and I was just like, no, man. We have to. If this is where young people are, we need to create a space within all of this garbage where people can learn, people can understand, people can see that we haven't always had William Rutos and Tinubus and Paul Bias. We had some. Because here's the thing: if you think all of your leaders have been corrupt, that affects your self-confidence.
Yeah.
You start to think, well, maybe
that's how it is.
Maybe this is how I'm designed.
Yeah.
But if we, so a big part of African stream was history. Some said we focused too much on history, but I don't think we did. I think we focused on history to give Africans a true, wholesome understanding of who they are. Yeah, who they are. Even when we talk about slavery, they love to show us, kind of being whipped. They refuse to tell you the stories of rebellion. The Nat Turners, the Haitian Revolution, how we rebelled here on the continent, how we rebelled in the seas, how we rebelled when we reached the Americas. Rebellion is part of our history. Ahmed Traoré, when he rejected the CFA franc. The beautiful, beautiful speech where he says, Modibo Keita was murdered.
Sekou Touré was cool, yeah?
Yes. And Nkrumah was cool. But he said, I'd rather live with dignity in poverty than in opulence as a beggar. Yeah. So these are the things that we try to instill because the other communities do that. The Jewish community, which I have respect for, they love to tell people about the Warsaw Ghetto because in the Warsaw Ghetto, the Jewish people within that ghetto were like, we're going to get killed anyway. We're going to get put in concentration camps. Let's take out a few Nazis. Yeah. There's so many films about that, but with us, it's just suffering. It just makes us look like a docile,
weak people.
Yeah.
Who
lack courage. Who are submissive. So history was an important part of the story for us.
You know what, Ahmed? I look at Africa right now. I look at Traoré, and I see a bit of hope. What do you think about? I know you guys have covered, and have you guys gone to Burkina Faso? Baby?
We didn't need to go because we have a reporter there full time.
Okay.
She lives there full time, and she's met Ibrahim Traoré.
Really?
I was so angry. I was like, "Why don't you get an interview?" She was, I think she was a bit starstruck.
Yeah, of course.
I think I can't blame her. I think I would be as well.
Yeah.
But we have a reporter there full time, so we have been there. We've done several reports on the ground from there. I think we were the only English speaking channel to do a report from all three, Burkina Faso, Mali, and Niger in one report. So we traveled the three and did a report on it. We're just about to release. So even though we've closed, there were a few projects that we were working on. We did one on Modibo Keita. That's coming out on Monday morning from Mali. But to answer your question, what's happening in Burkina Faso is extremely impressive. And what I like about the three leaders is no one's trying to be like the other. They know Ibrahim Traoré is the charismatic, good-looking, the one that's that captures the imagination of what a revolutionary is. Doesn't mean Asima Gota is less revolutionary. Or Abdurrahman Tiani is less revolutionary. They just know you need someone like Ibrahim Traoré
to be the face.
Yeah. Now, in some ways, Tiani's speeches are just as or more impressive, but they're not going to get the same reach because he's, respectfully, he's a slightly older man. He's not in the same shape. He doesn't speak in the same way. But if you just listen to what the content of what he's saying, it's brilliant. Gota is a bit more shy and reserved. So his Friar brand, who articulate Mali's revolutionary position, of his ministers, the foreign minister, the minister to the UN. These guys are brilliant. And he's fine with that. You know, a leader doesn't need to have brilliant speaking skills. He just needs to lead and understand who does have brilliant speaking skills and give them, you know, that position. But in Mali, they've done fantastic stuff.
Yeah.
They nationalized some of the mines. They closed Barrick Gold, which was exploited in the Mali for decades now. They kicked out some Canadian firms. They kicked out French media. France 24 had the goal to interview the head of Al-Qaeda in the Islamic Maghreb as if he's just a normal person. Yeah. Do you know what I mean? The analogy that I give, could you imagine an African stream if after the Paris terrorist attacks, we just interview some of the leaders of and just say like, okay, so why did you guys do it? Give us your manifesto. What do you believe? So this is why like people, some of these bourgeoisie media outlets like Al Jazeera, for example, which is people think are progressive. They're progressive on some stuff, terrible when it comes to the continent. They constantly talking about press freedoms in Mali and how they kicked out all of these media outlets without providing the context. Without providing in the context, they kicked them out because they were interviewing terrorists. And Burkina Faso kicked out Radio France because they were giving false reports about what was going on the battle lines, which was attempting to demoralize the population. So battles where the Burkina Faso army had won, they provided the story as if they'd lost it. You know what I'm saying? This is the context that they omit. But anyway, in terms of what's going on, the people, these are revolutions from the ground up, not top down. That's why people got confused at the beginning. We launched African Stream September 2022. Ibrahim Traoré, came to power October 2022. So we followed his journey from the start. And actually, he's one of the reasons why I should have mentioned this earlier, why I think we got so popular, because we had someone on the ground in Burkina Faso who could report what was going on in English, and we were reporting positively about what's happening. Now everybody reports positively about what's happening. It's funny because BBC Africa did a report on Ibrahim Traoré where they used the word anti-imperialism. I've never in my life, I've been following BBC since a little child. I've never seen them use the word imperialism. I've never seen the word imperialism.
Even the word imperialism. Never.
So even we're forcing the BBC to acknowledge, why this guy is so popular. But it's infrastructure, USAID, they come to the continent. Their annual budget for 2024 was 620 million. Yeah. You point to me, maybe your fiance can point to me. Name me one thing that USAID has built in Kenya. 620 million annual budget. Name me one thing. Yeah.
Oh, it's just aid and
it's all democracy promotion.
Yeah.
LGBTQ.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Maybe medical equipment.
Yeah.
Syringes, medicine.
I mean, they say that. I'd like to see the proof.
Well,
yeah.
Okay, that's what they say.
Yeah. They say that. Meanwhile, if you fly into Jomo Kenyatta Airport, what's the first thing you'll do? You'll get on the highway built by the Chinese.
Yeah.
So if I was to advise the US empire, which I wouldn't, but say if I would, I'd say to them, if you want to infiltrate Kenya's political system, which is what democracy promotion is. It's making sure your guy gets elected and serves your interests. That's what democracy promotion is. Because what's democratic about this Ruto administration?
Yeah.
But if you want to do that, if that's your real aim, why don't you build some lampposts and say made by USAID? Just if you were smart, if you were smart about it. Anyway, what's happening in Burkina Faso? They understand we're in a different stage of development. In this stage of development, we need infrastructure. Yes. F your democracy promotion.
You can say it.
Yeah. F your democracy promotion. Democracy is important, but we know what democracy promotion means. It means infiltrating your political system
Exactly.
to make sure
To install the leaders they want.
exactly what we from Burkina Faso becoming independent to now. I think I read somewhere there's only 10,000 kilometers, 10,000 kilometers of road, and within that 10,000 kilometers of road, only 5 to 6,000 kilometers is paved. Yeah, it's ridiculous. How do you're a businessman, you're a Burkina Faso businessman, Burkina Bay. You want to do business in your country. How do you even do big business when there's not roads to travel on? So in Burkina Faso, they've have this ambitious target by 2029 of building, between 30 to 60,000 kilometers of road. 10,000 since independence. They're looking to build 30 to 60,000. That's number one. Second thing, they've empowered the peasant farmers with these collective programs. So they've just built a tomato factory. Tomatoes are produced in Burkina Faso. No one's allowed to be a large shareholder. People are allowed to buy small parts of this factory. Yeah. So it's empowering the local generation, the local people. The local people have shareholder rights, which means they get to dictate who they sell to. They're moving towards being food sovereign. Yeah. Understanding we have all these things here. Why are we importing it? Yeah. If we have tomatoes here, why are we importing tomatoes? Yeah.
Or tomato sauce.
Yeah.
Ketchup.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly. So they're empowering the local population, moving towards food sovereignty. They're encouraging local businesses to come back. There's a local businessman that's come back and set up a electric car taxi business. Yeah. Encouraged by the business, encouraged by the government. These are the things that's happening. They're in Niger. Niger used to get 6 to 8% of the royalties from the uranium mined in Niger. I'll repeat, 6 to 8% of the uranium mined in Niger, the Nigerian government would receive royalties for. Yeah. The same company, Orania, would give Kazakhstan 30 to 40% of the royalties. How does that work? Huh?
8% versus 40%.
Exactly. How does that work? It's because you installed neo-colonial government after neo-colonial government. You agree a 6 to 8%, but you agree under the table something else. Yeah. So the reason why people in Niger are filling football stadiums, filling the streets to support their government is because they know. They try to describe the African as if we're just docile, unintelligent people that don't know what's going on, that don't know we're being robbed. Now they've kicked out this firm, and now they've taken the uranium. Sorry, not the uranium. The uranium, and they've increased the global price of uranium because they're now renegotiated all of their deals. Yeah. What we're seeing in Niger in 2024 had a GDP growth of between 10 and 12%. Yeah. Before the revolution that happened in July 2024, Niger was the second poorest country in the world. Yeah. Now it's one of the fastest growing economies in the world.
Wow.
So these revolutions are changing the lives of the people on the ground. People don't have an infatuation for men in military uniform. Ideally, they wouldn't be done by men in military uniform. But if the men in military uniform are those that are politically conscious and understand what's going on, then if they're the people to do the job, then so be it. And people can see the results on the ground. Terrorism, Burkina Faso, Mali, and Niger had become the epicenter of terrorism. But before France entered the fight against terrorism, before the US entered the fight for terrorism, in quote, there was like less than 100 terrorist attacks within the whole Sahel region. It's increased by 8,000%
when they got in.
Yeah. So there's an interview of Ibrahim Traoré, which was in France, which we translated through our comrade in Burkina Faso, where he's saying the story of Ibrahim Traoré is he was a fighter on the ground, fighting these terrorists, fighting these terrorists. They're seeing BS by these French troops. They're like, we're risking our lives. I'm losing comrades left, right, and center. The French are meant to be helping us. They show up way after the fight is done. What's this about? They have the most high-tech military equipment, high-tech military aircraft, but yet they're showing up after the fight's done. He's saying in this interview, which we translated and posted certain parts, he's saying they would see planes flying up above, dropping off weapons to the terrorists. That is the trigger for the revolution. Yeah?
Wow.
Yeah, he says this, completely ignored. And there's a few articles here and there, but nobody will republish the video. Yeah? Because they know that people don't read.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And it's not the headline of the article. The article will be about something else, and it's in the middle there somewhere. So they know only very few people are going to get access to that information. But if someone asks them, why didn't you cover it? They go, oh, it's here. You know, it's in this article. So it's covered in the mainstream media, but covered in a very clever way, where, you know, and they'll say stuff like, the military leaders in Mali allege this, the Burkina Faso military leaders allege this, as opposed to the leader of the president of Burkina Faso, who was on the front lines, says he saw this. You know what I mean? It's a different framing. It's a different framing. So that's why they're happening, because of the terrorism, because of the infrastructure, because of these exploitative mining contracts. People understood we have things in this country, but yet we're poor. There's a Parente quote where he goes, "Africa's not poor. It's just African people are poor."
But the land isn't poor.
Yeah, and it's so true. Africa isn't poor.
It's so riches.
We're just poor.
Yeah.
As Africans, we're just poor. Add that up, do the equation. How does that work?
But why?
Exactly.
Why are African people poor?
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Now, when you start getting the answers, you're like, okay.
Yeah.
Now, let me ask you, because let me tell you something. When Traoré got in, the first few months, I was like, let me observe him first.
Smart.
Yeah, because people were asking me, what do you think about Traoré? You think, I'm like, relax. Because, you know, we have gotten a lot of disappointments.
Yes. It's
so, especially me, as a person who's really passionate about Africa, I didn't want to rush into praising him.
Yeah.
I was like, let me just observe him for some months. And now I'm like, the
real deal.
Yeah, he's real. He's real.
Still, my son was born. My second son was born February 14th, born on Valentine's Day. His middle name is Sankara.
Oh.
I was thinking, shall I go with Traoré? I was like, it's too early.
Too early.
Let me wait till he's finished, because you never know. So what we'll say so far about Ibrahim Traoré, he's done a fantastic job so far. But people need to keep all of our leaders accountable. Yeah. All of our leaders, even him. Our African stream, our audience kept us accountable, because anyone can stray from the path. Anybody that thinks that they can't stray from the path is not aware of danger. Anybody can stray from the path. But so far, he's done an impeccable job, and he's got our full support.
Langley.
Yeah.
Man, what do you think about that?
That's an interesting story, because so for the audience, Michael Langley is the head of Afrikans. He's changed now. He got demoted because he did such a terrible job. He did such a terrible job with Ibrahim Traoré. He was the head of Afrikan. Thanks for that correction. So he made this ridiculous statement where he says Ibrahim Traoré is using the gold reserves to provide security for himself. Yeah? Now let's just deconstruct what he says. Do you think Ibrahim Traoré's security budget is smaller than the US president's security budget? No, his security budget is smaller than the US president.
Of course, yeah.
The US president, when he moves, when they fly everywhere, they have to have a detour plane, and then they have to have fighter jets flying beside them, and then they have to send out these signals, which means I and you can't use our phone. So there's a bunch of stuff, and every US former president is provided with security for life.
Yeah, for life.
For life. So
what are they called? Secret
Service.
Secret Service.
Yeah, and they've all got the earpieces.
Oh yeah. Of course.
Yeah.
Probably like billions of dollars.
Yeah. And so Donald Trump has had a few assassination attempts on his life. Ibrahim Traoré has had several, not as many as been reported. There's a lot of fake news that said it's been 19 assassination attempts.
Yeah.
It's not been 19. I think it's around 6, which is still crazy.
It's still crazy.
It's still crazy.
Span of 2.5 years.
Yes, exactly.
But how does he like go through that storm? How does he do that?
But I mean, anyone that wants to do the job that they're doing has to know, if I'm going to nationalize mines, if I'm going to take money from these imperialists, people are going to come after me. You don't step into that world not aware of the danger. Mm-hmm. So I'm sure he's aware, and it's a decision he's decided to take. But anyway, back to Langley. A sovereign president of a sovereign country is entitled to spend money on security. Mm-hmm. Yeah. So it's a weird line to go with in terms of attack. But anyway, when he made that statement, something happened which made me so proud to be an African. Something I've not witnessed while I've been on this earth for 36 years. Yeah. He made that statement and protests were called around the world. Protest in London, protest in the US, protest in Jamaica, protest in Canada. There was an attempted protest in Nigeria, but they shut it down before it could get started. They arrested the leaders. They did a Facebook post and they went and arrested the leaders straight away.
But there were some protests in some parts of Africa.
Yes, protests in Africa. And that showed something. These new Africans ain't taking the shit that our forefathers took.
You know why?
Yeah.
It's because of platforms like yours. I think your platform had something to do with it.
Maybe. I hope so.
It is.
I hope so.
You guys.
I hope so.
Yeah.
But it was so beautiful to see. And these weren't small protests. Protests in London was huge. A guy had this huge portrait of Ibrahim Traoré. And everyone was cussing out Afrikan.
Yeah.
Everyone was cussing out Langley. And then he got demoted. Yeah. That is African power in full display. Yeah. Mm-hmm. Now in 2011, I was at university in 2011. That didn't happen with Libya. Yeah. That was before, social media had the reach that it has now. And it was captured by like reactionary elements. So people were cheering when Gaddafi got killed and, hated this, sodomized on camera.
Yeah, that was...
People were cheering. When Hillary Clinton said, we came, we saw, he died, people thought it was funny. That won't happen with Ibrahim Traoré.
It won't.
Mark my words, that won't happen with Ibrahim Traoré. And so, yes, they're trying to kill him. Yes, they want to remove him. But they're going to have a very, very difficult job. And I think they're aware, if they do kill him, he's potentially more dangerous as a martyr than he is alive. And so, yes, they're trying to kill him. Yes, they want to remove him. But they're going to have a very, very difficult job. And I think they're aware, if they do kill him, he's potentially more dangerous as a martyr than he is alive. So it's not something that they want to do.
Yeah.
Plus, the Burkina Faso have taken steps where it's very difficult for that to do. He's surrounding himself with some of the most loyal men around him. Then there's civilian volunteer force that sleep day and night in the square outside the presidential palace. Yeah. So it's not going to be easy. The best thing that they can do is, which they're trying to do, is they're trying to discredit him with this propaganda that he's some sort of ethnic nationalist targeting the Fulani. It's an old tired trick, but this is what they're running with. What I've noticed since they failed with the Langley, I've noticed there's an explosion of all these BS articles about how the Burkina Faso army is targeting the Fulani tribe, and there's Fulani people are in the leadership positions in the army. There's a minister. So it's just bullshit. There's obviously always been, people within countries that are relatively large that are dissatisfied with their allocation of wealth. Yeah. So you're always going to have a Tuareg separatist movement, and the imperialists are always going to exploit that type of movement. But what they forget to tell you is this separatist nationalist movement by the Tuareg people came about in 2011. You know why it came about in 2011? Do you know the history? I'll tell you the history. In 2011, when they tried to take out Muammar Gaddafi, they had to sell some lies to do that. One of them was Gaddafi was giving his soldiers Viagra to go rape women, proven to be. The second lie, and this was the one that was most dangerous, and the one that we're living with the legacy, is Gaddafi has hired African mercenaries to fight the rebels. Yeah. What happened was, Libya is one of the biggest countries in Africa, has a population of 4 to 6 million. There's not enough people for jobs. Yeah. So for a country that big to develop, you need immigration. We're in Africa. African migrants are going to come and work. And they did come and work. And Gaddafi encouraged them to come and work. So these same African migrants that have been in Libya for years were now all turned into mercenaries. Yeah. So these are the same people.
Propaganda.
That's the propaganda. Turned into mercenaries by the propaganda. They weren't mercenaries, they were just migrants.
Yeah.
So what happened was the Libyan people turned on anyone with dark skin. That's what led to the open slave markets. The Tuareg people, because they're nomadic and they come from places like Mali, Burkina Faso, and elsewhere in the Sahel, they have darker skin. They were well treated by Gaddafi. You know, to this day, they still sing songs about Gaddafi.
Yes.
They were being persecuted by the Libyans, the rebels post his death. So they start leaving Libya.
Yeah.
And they're like, okay, we're not safe anywhere until we have our own homeland.
Yeah.
So this is what's led to this separatist nationalist move. It was there before, but this is what's led to its prevalence. Yeah.
And now Libya is in a mess.
So these same separatists have gone to Mali. And so this is what the some of the conflict is about. But the mainstream media don't say this.
They don't say that.
They don't say this. And all they say is, the Mali's persecuting the Tuareg. The Burkina Faso's persecuting the Fulani. It's nonsense, but it is an effective tool to try and weaken revolution. So Africans need to be aware on what's going on and what the origins of this is.
You know what caught my eye was it a year ago when Obama said that the operation in Libya was one of the biggest mistakes he's ever done. I was like, you leave office and then now you say, I really f***ed up there. Come on. What are you saying?
They always say that. They always say, they don't. What's funny about it is they never say the invasion was wrong. They say the post-war planning.
Oh, okay.
So the same, George Bush says, he never says you Iraq was wrong.
He says
the post-war planning was wrong. No, if you destroy a prosperous nation like Libya, which was the wealthiest in Africa, highest life expectancy, highest living conditions, most women in university, most women educated, the list goes on and on. Biggest proportion of people that own their own house, biggest proportion of people with access to healthcare. The list goes on and on. When you destroy a country like that, you create a vacuum where the biggest and baddest rule. Where the biggest and baddest rule. So that's the issue. There's no scenario where you can do that and it doesn't end in chaos, where it doesn't end in civil war. Libya is now 2 countries. But we could have told him in 2011 it's 2 countries, and I don't have all the grey hair that Obama has. So how can I tell him as a young man and he doesn't know? He knew what he was doing and he thought it was a price worth playing.
And it's a black president. Who has Kenyan ties. You know how painful it is.
But that's always the case though. They bring in this person for that reason. So Obama comes in 2009. It comes in 2000. No, it comes in 2008.
Yeah,
2008.
9 January.
Yeah, January. Yeah, you're right.
Yeah.
2008 elected. 2009 it comes in. AFRICOM is established at the end of 2007.
Yes.
It's really gets going during Obama. Yeah. So he was obviously they say elected. He was selected.
Yeah, of
so
course.
that the US empire can pivot towards the continent. Do you think they could have invaded Libya under George Bush? Impossible. The optics.
Yeah.
White man.
White president.
Invaded an African country. But if it's a black man, maybe he's just doing it for democracy. There's this Nigerian sister, Kemi Banadok. What's her name now? She's the leader of the Conservative Party. She's Nigerian. She is every time.
I know her. Ooh,
every time a microphone gets put in front of her, she just cusses out Nigeria non-stop. I've never met somebody who hates their own country in the history of following news as this woman. If she becomes the prime minister, the only reason she'll become prime minister is to push anti-migrant policies that a white politician couldn't dream of. Yeah?
You think she's okay?
So, we need a new word. Yeah. But she's gone further than... But yeah, in essence, she's okay. She's what Malcolm X used to call an Uncle Tom.
Well, she's auntie now.
Yeah,
auntie, whatever.
Auntie,
but you know
Auntie
what?
Tara.
I think she knows. You know, and I think I've heard Dr. Umar say this as well. The most dangerous coon is an educated coon.
Yeah.
Because she knows what she's doing.
Yeah.
You know what? Maybe she even loves Nigeria. Maybe she even loves her people. But for that prime minister seat, for money, for power, she has to go against her people.
Yeah. You won't elevate, you won't reach that position. Me and you could never be the leader of the Conservative Party. Impossible. We wouldn't want to be anyway. But had we had that ambition, our politics won't reach that. So she'll only be elevated because she's saying stuff that white people want to hear. And here's the funny thing about it. There's now a new market for this. So if you wanted to become rich, and I wouldn't advise you because you'd lose your soul doing it.
Yeah.
I could give you a plan to become rich, which is guaranteed. Guaranteed, and you will. You need to go online because you're very articulate. You say what white people can't say but want to say. Yeah? So you go online and you say, Africa's poor because we're corrupt. There's something about Africans that makes us corrupt.
Yeah.
You give a few anecdotal stories. I went here, this person, and all of a sudden you'll start getting an audience. You say the conflict in Sudan is happening because Africans are violent. I bumped into someone today in the cafeteria and he wanted to fight me. We're just a violent group of people. You say all the things that white people want to say but they can't. You'll be a wealthy man. Yeah?
Really?
Yeah. You're engaged now. You'll have a wedding. You'll have a wedding that will be like Beyonce, Jay-Z style if you want to.
Yeah.
But obviously we've got principles, so we can't do that.
Yeah, of course.
But the market tells, the market determines what to sell.
Mm-hmm.
So now there's a whole new market, the Candy Sowings market, the Kemi
Candice.
There's a whole new market which says GB News in the UK, where every other presenter is a black person cussing out black people.
Really?
There's a whole market right now of
even Fox News.
Fox News, yeah. They get their token Negro on there. But there's a whole new market which says if you want to cuss out your own people and say things where if you say it, no one can call you racist. That's the beauty. That's why they love someone like you or me saying it. Mm-hmm. No one can call you racist. But if they say it, they'll be called racist. So that's the market, and people are flooding that market and making a lot of money off it.
Well, let's now. But you know what? When it comes to Traoré, I think they hired the white boy to finish the job. I even said it in Lingugi show. I hope it doesn't happen. God forbid. I hope it doesn't happen. But I think that's why Trump put the white boy to finish the job because Langley failed. Maybe. What do you think?
I think, if I'm being honest, Trump isn't concerned about Africa the same way the Biden administration is.
Uh-huh.
It's for voting reasons. So he's pivoting towards Latin America, yeah,
Really?
because Florida, which has all of these Cuban exiles, Venezuelan exiles, all of the right wing from Latin America all reside in Florida, and they demand the U.S. empire turn up the hatchet, turn up the dial when it comes to Cuba, Venezuela, Nicaragua, and so on. So you've just seen Trump sanction Cuban doctors, Cuban doctors which go around the world risking their life fighting polio, and they've all been sanctioned now by the US empire. So I don't think, maybe I'm wrong.
Well, he had like 5 presidents the other day,
Yes, I know, but still, the whole body language in that meeting was that the African presidents were more pleased to be there than Trump wants to have them. He's just not smart enough to realize the importance of Africa. He's one of those old school racists. Where he just thinks we're he believes in all of the Eurocentric tropes, that it's a poor place where there's not really much going on, etc., etc. As opposed to the Biden administration, which realizes the future of the whole planet rests in this continent. Now, I might be wrong. That's just my initial impression. He did sign the Congo peace deal.
That's what I want to talk about.
Yeah, he did sign the Congo peace deal, and he did say, that part of the peace deal is America's going to get all that mineral wealth. So obviously there's an interest, but not to the extent where he's going to put all the attention and focus on the Sahel that the Biden administration did. That's my assessment. Maybe it's wishful thinking, but that's my assessment. We'll see. But yeah, he's definitely interested in the mineral wealth in the continent, but he doesn't know anything about it. So in his speech where he announced the peace deal, he said these people were hacking each other with machetes not long ago. But he's obviously referring to the Rwandan genocide. He doesn't even know that it happened. He doesn't know anything about Congo. He doesn't know anything about Congo.
All he cares about is the minerals.
All he cares about is.
But you know what made me sick is that we couldn't solve our own problems.
The Congolese government.
Yeah,
I had this discussion we're still part of a WhatsApp group, me and the team. I said, if we were to vote for the most useless government in Africa, who would take the cookie? Would it be Nigeria or Congo? And we're all in agreement it's Congo.
Not even this government?
No. The Congolese government makes Ruto look like a revolutionary. The way they've sold out their country is beyond belief. So I don't know if you know much of the details of the peace agreement, but let me just tell you some of the basics. So they signed a peace deal with Rwanda, where Rwanda will remove troops from Congo, Rwanda, until last month, has denied it even had any troops in Congo. That's number one. In the peace deal, M23 were excluded from the peace deal.
I read the whole thing. I was looking for M23.
M23 are not in the peace deal.
It's not even.
M23 currently occupies parts of eastern Congo. Occupies Goma, northern
is it Kivu?
Northern Kivu and other parts, controls some of the mines, taxes the local population. What are you talking about? They're not included in the peace deal. So you're signing peace between Rwanda and Congo, but Rwanda, who is supporting M23, financing M23, and M23 is basically an extension of the Rwandan government and the Rwandan army, isn't included. Yet for signing this peace deal and offering protection, US businesses get first dibs on the minerals in Congo. So you're trading in security for minerals, but you're not even getting the security. That's number one. Then there was a second part of the deal, mediated by Qatar, that was signed end of July. This is between M23 and the Congolese government. In the deal, M23, the Congolese government comes out and says, it's a great deal. Within the deal, the Congolese M23 will leave the land that it occupies. I think, great. M23 comes out with a statement. That's not in the deal. We will not leave what they call the liberated zones. What a useless government. What a useless government. You have everything underneath the ground to make you the wealthiest country in the world. You have a population of 110 million Africans. Average age is around 20 years of age. You've got the means for the technology for everyone's phones. You've got the means for the technology for the green revolution, the electric cars. You can't even leverage the resources you've got to get a good deal which provides basic security for your people. Yeah, this guy Felix Tshisekedi is a collaborator. Yeah, we keep talking about Paul Kagame.
Yeah.
We need to talk about Paul Kagame and Felix Tshisekedi
all in the same breath.
In the same breath. The most useless government. The most useless government in Africa is the Congolese government.
Wow.
Yeah. The most useless government in Africa is the Congolese government because it has everything it needs. Kenya exports tea and flowers, which is fantastic, but it doesn't compare to coltan, to cobalt, to tin.
We discovered coltan, was it 3 years ago, 2 years ago?
But it's not at the same level.
Yeah, it's not the same.
It's not the same level. Yeah. Rwanda has no coltan mines, yet is one of the biggest exporters of coltan. You know what I'm saying?
That was crazy.
This guy, Felix Tshisekedi, is a surrogate of the Kabilas. The Kabilas were put into power by Paul Kagame. Yeah. So if you look at it, this is just one big... Felix Tshisekedi ran on a ticket of, I'm going to take out the African Hitler, Paul Kagame. I'm going to protect the people of Eastern Congo. He's not fired one bullet. It's collaboration. This is all smoke screens and mirrors.
And people are going to put their lives on the line for these two leaders.
Yeah.
They don't know they're being played.
Yeah.
And it's all a game. That's why Ahmed, I always say this. You never put your life on the line for these politicians.
Unless if the politician's son is fighting beside me, we'll fight.
Yeah, unless he is with me in the front line. Never ever put your life on the line for any politician. Because they talk to each other on phone, they laugh with each other. Even here in this country, the two opposing politicians, Raila and Ruto have always been friends. They were in the same team in 07. They fell apart. Yeah. But these guys, their wives go to the same meetings. Their kids go to the same school. They golf together. These guys are friends. Friends.
And they're both wealthy.
Yeah?
They're both wealthy.
So why are you putting your life on the line for them?
Yeah.
Like, man.
There's the saying, isn't it? Politicians lie, young men die.
Politicians lie, young men die.
Politicians lie, young men die.
So you think there's hope? First of all, Kagame is still on the fence with this deal. You think this deal is going to actually bring peace to
Of course not.
To Congo?
Of course not. M23 is the largest fighting force that occupies the most land in Eastern DRC. They're not putting down their weapons. They're not giving up occupied land. What peace? What peace? 500,000 people have been displaced by the recent conflict. There's been 7 million displaced in the last 20 years. We're not even talking about that. 500,000 have just been displaced since M23 invaded Eastern DRC. Yeah, 500,000. Those 500,000 are not going back to their homes under this new deal. Yeah. And even if M23 put down their weapons and left Congo, there still wouldn't be peace. Peace isn't just the absence of violence. Yeah? I'll repeat that again. Peace isn't just the absence of violence. If you live in squalor, if you live in a refugee camp, you don't have sanitation.
Peace. Yeah.
You don't have peace.
Yeah.
If your kid can't go to school without hearing gunshots,
that's not peace.
You don't have peace. If you're an artisanal miner and your child knows, I need to go into this mine so my mom and dad can eat, that's not peace. Yeah. So the only way they can have peace in this country is if we have revolutionary leadership in Kinshasa. Yeah? Revolutionary leadership in Kinshasa that closes down the airspace. You know, in Goma, it's one of the most busiest air traffics anywhere in the world. Oh, really? People are flying in and out. Why? They're dropping off weapons, they're taking this. They're dropping off weapons, they're taking this. So you need a strong government that concerns itself with what's going on in the East. You need the nationalization of the mines, and you need strong border control. From this day forward, there will be no foreign mercenaries in Congo. From this day forward, there'll be no foreign armies in Congo. From this day forward, there's no one going to fly in to Goma, for a temporary period of time.
Yeah.
From now on, people have to fly into Kinshasa. They have to come in with their records and their papers and their documents. Show us your mining license. Show us your agreement with the government.
Yeah.
And you have to drive from Kinshasa to Goma. Yeah. That will end all of the problems.
Really?
Yeah. We have this open border, basically, on the East. Kagame admits it. So the only group of Africans that hates African stream is the Rwandans.
Really?
Yeah. The only trolls that we have are Rwandans. But we say to them, we've got the proof. Like, the truth is the truth. Kagame admits that all of the illicit minerals go through Rwanda. You know what he says? Don't blame us. We're the middle point. You should blame where they end up. Dubai, Sweden, the US.
Whoa.
So he admits it.
Yeah.
He admits it. So we send them this video. You know what they say? Oh, it's taken out of context. What's the context? He's saying it from his own mouth. You're saying this is AI. They go, oh, he didn't mean it that way. No, he meant it that way. He admits that Rwanda is a conduit for, like I said, it's middle management. Kagame's not to blame. Kagame is just the front man.
Yeah, just like Felix.
Yeah, just is the front man. There's a company called Glencore, which is run which is run by this Israeli
rich man.
Yeah,
supplies to Tesla, is it?
Yeah. Tesla, Apple, they're all reaping the benefits. Yeah. And we don't have justice. So when the Congolese people take Apple to court, the case gets thrown out. Because without power, these courts are never going to rule in your favor. These decisions are never going to rule in your favor. We need power. We need a strong government in Kinshasa, which can then unify with other strong countries in the region, which could then unify with the AES and demand a change of conditions for the people on the ground.
So Ahmed, as we're winding up, let's talk about Haiti. Oh my God. Haiti has never seen peace in a long time. Why do you think? Yeah.
Haiti is the threat of what we would consider as Africans as a good example, but what the imperialists see as the bad example. Yeah. They defeated the might of the French Empire in its heyday, when it was the strongest it's ever been. Yep. And it was never allowed to prosper because it sends a bad example to other indigenous people around the world that you can defeat an empire. And
first group of Africans to get independence.
And they were revolutionary in more ways than one. I'll mention just a few of the ways. It was the first independent Black republic, recognized independent Black republic. But the Polish that were enlisted to fight for the French, they recognized there was a class dynamic, that these Polish people were just as oppressed, not just oppressed, but were oppressed like them. So they said to the Polish fighters, if you lay down your weapons and you agree to our constitution that no human being should be in servitude or bondage, you can be a Haitian citizen. Yeah. That's number one. Number two, there was a liberation struggle happening in South America, led by a guy called Simon Bolivar. Yeah. Simon Bolivar went to Haiti for support to defeat the Spanish in South America. The Haitians said to him, we'll offer you support under one condition. The lands that you liberate will abolish slavery. Yeah, there'll be no slavery within your territories. If you can agree to this, we'll offer you military support, logistical support, weapons, anything you need. Yeah, Simon Bolivar agreed, but it was complicated because Simon Bolivar, the people that he was fighting with, were the feudal class. The feudal class that were not happy with the taxes that Spain was imposing on them. So these people didn't have any problem with exploitation. They just didn't like the fact that they were exploited. Yeah. So Simon Bolivar tried to push through this no more slavery in South America, and his allies said absolutely no way. So they came to a compromise that no child would be born into slavery. So the slaves that were already there had to live the rest of their lives as slaves, but their children would be born free. So that was a compromise. But I'm just saying all that to show you how progressive Haiti was. It wasn't just about defeating the French. They really believed in the ideals and the principles that all men are born equal.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. So after they kicked out the French army resupplied, re-equipped, and they came with all of their military warships to the coast of Haiti and said, we're going to bomb you guys and we're going to destroy your whole country. We have no French soldiers there left, so we don't have to fight, the way that we fought against you in the past and lost. We'll destroy you from far. Unless you agree to pay us reparations for our loss of wealth. Yeah. So Africans to this day, apart from Libya in Germany, which is a complicated story we could get into maybe later.
Yeah.
Have never received reparations for colonization, for imperialism, for slavery. Haiti was forced by the threat of a gun to pay reparations to France. So they paid the equivalent of billions in reparations, which meant they could never prosper. Yeah, that's number one. Number two, America looted Haiti. Yeah, the whole Wall Street, the wealth that Wall Street started with came from looting of Haiti. This is history that's buried and nobody knows anything about. So Haiti already started off with a deficit. And then we've had neo-colonial regime after neo-colonial regime imposed on Haiti. The most recent case was the Americans, Aristide. They kidnapped Aristide and they were going to put him in Central African Republic, yeah, because he tried to raise the minimum wage in Haiti, yeah, and they installed their own puppet regime to take over, which obviously deaded that. Haiti's enforced to open up its markets, to have free market economy, which means that they import rice, even though rice is one of the main things that the Haitians would produce.
Yeah.
Now, a local Haitian farmer can't compete with industrial prices.
Of course.
Yeah. So for people that don't understand, they go, why can't a local Haitian farmer compete? A local Haitian farmer is producing everything himself, which means he has to pay for his car, for his petrol, for his materials, for this and for that and for this. And so when he does that on an individual scale, he has to put the prices
higher than.
But if you mass produce, you can obviously put the prices lower. Yeah. So you can never compete as an individual or as a small collective with industrialists, because they've managed to take humans out of the equation in some cases.
Yeah.
So of course it's cheaper. So this is the problem with Haiti. And then in the modern form, they say there's a gang problem in Haiti. And let me tell you about the gang problem in Haiti.
Yeah, that's the one.
The weapons that the gangs receive come from Florida, which is part of
US.
Yeah. So the gangs are armed to the teeth through Florida. Some say with US collaboration, state collaboration, because the US could stop that within a second.
Yeah, of course.
Yeah. The gangs fight against the police force, which is corrupt. The police are also armed by the US and Canada. Yeah. So the US arms both sides in the poorest country in the Western Hemisphere, Yeah. So wherever there's poverty, there's crime. Yeah. So people that don't have enough to eat, who are now armed to the teeth, extort, blackmail, kidnap, they then use the gang problem to justify perpetual external interference in the country.
Yeah.
Yeah. So the UN occupied Haiti, led by Brazil at the time. That's why a lot of Haitians, a lot of Haitians hate President Lula because he was in power then and he's now in power now. And the UN forces were raping little girls,
Yes.
extorting people. They were not following sanitation procedures.
Yes.
So they led to a cholera outbreak.
And they even admitted to it, yeah?
Yeah, they admitted to it.
I remember.
Yeah. So this is what happened the last time the UN was there. Yeah. So the Haitians, and we covered this on African Stream, don't want any more US interference, any more UN interference in their country. So then and the Americans know this, so they went down this, what they thought was a very clever route of getting blackface of imperialism to interfere in Haiti. Yeah. So they went to the Caribbean first. No Caribbean country wanted any part to do with this. But yet they found their sellout regime here in Nairobi, Kenya. And they're like, no problem. Give us $200-300 million. We'll send troops. No issue. Kenyan police officers get paid 20,000 Kenyan shillings per month. I'm right in saying that's the average salary, 20,000 Kenyan shillings. But yet they're getting given, the Kenyan government's getting given between $200 and $300 million to send the troops. So where's the rest of that money going? Exactly. The Kenyan High Court rules that the deployment is unconstitutional and illegal.
But they don't follow the...
Yeah. Kenya, which is seen as a model for democracy, that's how it's painted in the West, sends the troops anyway. Yeah?
Yeah.
This is why we don't buy into this notion of democracy promotion. Back to the original conversation, 600 million is sent by USAID in 2024. A big proportion of that is for democracy promotion. The USAID criticized the Kenyan deployment of troops. Did they say, we're spending money on promoting democracy here. You guys should listen to the judicial that said this is illegal. They didn't. So it's all bullshit. So it's all bullshit. It's all bullshit. So Kenyans are over there. Kenyan police are over there. They don't speak the language. They don't know the terrain. And they're trying to provide police services to a hostile population that's had centuries of French, American
involvement,
UN interference, rape, pillage, and looting of their country. Yeah, and now they see some black people who's been sent by the US. What do you think is going to happen? We saw what happened to the Kenyan police officer.
Yes,
paraded in the street.
Yes, and they're dying now.
They're dying now, exactly. And then we're hearing reports that Kenyan police are not even being paid on time. Yeah. It's a sad case all the way around. Poor police officers who don't get paid enough in their home country are getting offered a little bit more pay to go risk their lives in a foreign land as invaders. And what choice do they have? Because a lot of these police officers come from the informal settlements that are dotted all around Nairobi. So it's terrible. And to add insult to injury for people that are non-Kenyan that might be watching this, Kenyan police don't even have a good reputation here.
Oh yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So
we know that for the past 2 years.
Yeah. So the Kenyan police are seen as an occupying force in their own country, where they speak Kiswahili and they look like the local people. How are they going to be perceived in Haiti? Well, they still kind of look like the people, but Haitians originate from Central Africa and West Africa. Yes. Yeah, not East Africa. So there's a slight difference in...
Yeah, but we're all Africans.
We're all Africans, exactly. But you can recognize this person as not Haitian, is what I'm trying to say. How do you think they're going to be perceived? Exactly how they're being perceived right now.
And I'm sure now, because Kenyan police officers are there, Haitians are like, you Kenyans are bad people now.
You see... A little bit.
A bit. Well,
we did some reports where people were saying we've got nothing against the Kenyan people. We know the police are being sent there on behalf of US empire, and we know police officers, military officers have to follow orders. We posted a video of one of the big politicians out there, and he said something like, "But when they do step foot here, we're going to rip them apart."
Oh, yeah.
And that's what's happened.
Barbecue, what do you think about it?
Oh, this is a controversial topic. Very controversial, because we have some people that try to paint him as some sort of revolutionary. Yeah.
I've seen that.
But we have to take our lead from the Haitians. And the Haitians will tell us this guy's committed all sorts of crimes.
Oh.
Yeah. And that actually, much like the gang leaders in Haiti, they're paid by the elites in Haiti to control territory. So essentially they're mercenaries. We interviewed him.
Oh, really?
Yeah, we interviewed him on African Street.
It's out?
It's out, yeah.
Oh, man, I haven't seen
It's
it.
out. I'll send it to you. We got criticised a little bit by interviewing him, but if you watch the interview...
You guys are journalists, like...
Exactly. If you watch the interview, we ask him tough questions. We say, you've been accused of... You've been accused of this, you've been accused of that. Obviously, he denies everything, but we asked him. Yeah. People are angry that we just interviewed him. I don't like to treat the audience like children.
Yeah.
I think the audience are wise enough to make up their own mind. Interview the person, let them speak, and if you believe them, you believe them. If you don't believe them, don't believe them. But we asked him the tough questions, which is all I could ask us to do. The interview was carried out by a Congolese sister who obviously speaks French, but also had lived in Haiti, so she also understood a bit of Creole. Because they mix their French with Creole and whatnot.
Yes. Wow. Is there any hope for Haiti? I mean, at this point, Haiti is looking bad.
It is.
And I really want Haiti, because let me ask you, I know they're there because of the iridium and some other valuable resources. Man. Yeah. So the US, I mean, it's like the biggest game ever. They give them the guns, they empower them with the weapons.
And then they say, look how dangerous it is.
Then Kenya, come bring stability and we'll give you money. So now we are fighting each other. Oh man, it's a mess. It's a mess.
It's a mess. Yeah, man. And these Kenyan troops, and I don't wish this on them, they're gonna just keep coming back in body bags. And I think, to be honest, the only hope is there's enough uproar from the Kenyan population that when these Kenyan troops come back in body bags, they kick up a fuss. Because I'm part of a Pan-African Socialist Alliance. We're trying to organize an event around Haiti.
Okay.
We will invite you to it when we do. Because there was a lot of mobilization up until, the High Court ruling. And the High Court ruling, we organized a few events and they were well attended. But it's kind of, people almost seem defeated. Once the Kenyan troops landed in Haiti, there was just a bit like, okay, they're there, what can we do?
Yeah.
No, man, we need to bring the troops home.
Yeah.
We need to bring the troops home. There's a bandit problem here in Kenya. What the hell are they doing in?
Yeah.
What the hell are they doing?
And even that in it of itself is just complex.
Yeah.
Oh man. Yeah. So is there hope? A bit?
For Haiti.
Yeah.
There's always hope where there's people. If the people of Haiti can mobilize and can find real revolutionary leadership that can mobilize the masses and defend the country, then there's hope. But at the moment, the country is led by corrupt leaders that are being selected by the US. So the last one that was here, he came to Haiti, came to Kenya, sorry. And he tried to sign this agreement. So the High Court said, this is unconstitutional because it's a transitional government, number one, that's in charge, not an elected government. And there needs to be some sort of reciprocity. So you're sending police here, but what is Haiti sending over? Usually these are sort of agreements made between two countries where it's, you send us troops, we send you this, you send us that, we send this. So there's this corrupt prime minister came over and signed an agreement, which was just tokenistic, which allowed Ruto to say, okay, we've met the conditions of the High Court, now we're going to send the troops. But he never went back to the High Court. It doesn't work that way. You don't get to interpret the law yourself, meet the agreements based on your own understanding, and then send the troops. And now he's been deposed and replaced by somebody else. I forget the name. I used to know all the names of these, but it's always fast moving. But yeah, Haiti's not led by Haitians that have the country's best interest at heart, because the leaders are not elected, they're selected. Literally selected. Not like Obama, where there's a mirage of an election. Haiti hasn't had an election in a long time. So people need to take control of the country. And once they do, they can then navigate the direction of the country.
Yeah. Brother Ahmed, we can spend the whole day talking.
Yeah.
Thank you so much for coming, by the way.
No worries. Thank you for having me.
What are the last words you'd like to tell us before we close? And maybe you can look to the camera.
Sure. So people are upset about African Stream closing down. And that makes sense because we did invaluable work. But there are brilliant Africans throughout the continent, such as our brother here, who are doing brilliant work. So what if African Stream can't recreate itself, what I would like, what the team would like, is that there are tens, if not hundreds of new African streams that pop up and that we support. So support the brothers' work. And if you're an African of conscience, if you've got one of these smartphones, if you know how to use a microphone, let's do the work. The reason why African Stream popped off is because we were just Africans with a conscience. Some of us were journalists, some of us weren't journalists, but we had integrity, we had a desire to tell the truth, and we used that desire to tell our own stories. So don't wait for African Stream to recreate itself. Be your own African Stream, create your own platform. Everyone has the tools to do that. Get out your smartphone, start telling your own stories, and let's get to work.
Thank you so much. And, I hope you guys revive.
Yeah,
you guys have to come back.
Inshallah.
You have to come back. You guys are my favorite.
Yeah.
You guys are my favorite.
Yeah.
But I wish you guys all the best.
No problem, man. And good luck with your platform.
Yes. Actually, basically what you guys are doing is selling Africa to Africans.
Yes.
And that's the name of the platform. Selling
Africa to Africa.
Yeah, because we've been selling Africa to Europeans, and now we're selling it to the East. Now it's time for us to reclaim it and sell it back to the Africans.
I like the fact that you used the K.
Yes.
For Africa. The only reason I didn't do that for African Stream is for search engines. I really wanted to, but someone advised me and said, in terms of algorithm search engines, Africa with a K is, if you just go on Google, there's not as many search.
Yeah, true.
So I just wanted, when people search Africa or African, our page would come up. But I like the fact that you did that.
Yeah, I'm standing on this.
Yeah,
I'm not changing it.
Stand on it.
Thank you so much,
my brother.
Thank you so much.
Thank you for having me,
guys. Like, comment, subscribe, share this interview. Hopefully we'll have you again. Man, thank you so much, guys. Peace.
Peace.